Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Final Fantasy Revex's video. And we've got 2 units here, not 3. Spoiler alert, Neo Vision Awakening Exdeath, like I said in my summary video, it was probably going to be fodder, and he's not even worth mentioning. He does almost nothing. They gave him almost nothing. So you're basically going EX3 with him just to save some inventory slots. That is what his score will be. Very low, so I'm not even going to bother making a slide for him. Anyways, due to feedback, I'm going to be including TMRs whenever I can. So you can see the TMR and STMR there. So this is Worldly Traveler Bartz, and he has infinite turns, which is very good. On both sides, they got some killers. 200% plant, beast, machine, human, demon, and avian. And in the base form, he has a 150% and for himself. 200% LB damage. These are passives. 200% LB damage, 20% TDH, and also 500% cap. Pretty standard. The LB is a 35% sword in peril, 130% wind in peril, 80% defense break. Okay. And 250 times wind and physical damage, 24 hits. You can actually get that increased if you use the Brave Shift LB. It gives 110 times mod increase to LB damage, and his Brave Shift LB does no damage, so obviously it goes to the base LB. And if you use Tidus STMR as well, it would get increased even further. 24 hits though, not sold on that too much, but let's move on to the Brave Shift form. 1,400 times max mod chain after ability mods and using Brave Shift LB. So what he has 3 imbues. All of them give 300 times mod. They're all different names, so they should all work. And what the trick would be is you use the imbue that you'd actually like to use, because it's basically the same as the Elric Brothers imbues, where it removes everything besides the imbue that you're putting on. So if you want fire imbue, you would use lightning, light, and then fire at the end, so then you land on the fire imbue, and vice versa and things like that. And so you do that, and you can cap yourself, I'm assuming, with this grandest one-hit move of 2,100 times, or maybe even higher. If it, I didn't check to see if it gives a mod buff, because I mean you can only use it one time anyways, so whatever. So there are some problems with his Brave Shift form, but not that big of a deal. He has for some reason they focus on True to Will in his Brave Shift form, which still hasn't gotten any buffs at all, so it's useless. It can be built TDH so easily because of the 600% cap being unconditional, so you can just build him TDH. And the 24 hits in the base LB, basically, if you have Satan, he'd be very good partners in Dark Visions, for example, because they both have 24 hits. That's really the only chaining partner recently that would be good with him, though. So there's that. So let's reveal the score here for Bartz. An 8 out of 10. I think that's pretty fair. He isn't doing anything, grand, anything too special. He's just a damage dealer, with tight rotations as most DPS have been recently. So you just have to work with that. So he has a lot of stats, though. I would not be surprised if he can get 10,000 stats, just based off all the things that he can get. So yeah. That's Bartz, guys, and let's move on. Let's put this back on, and let's move on to Krile. White Mage Krile, at least in her base form. I don't know what her Brave Shift form name is. Her TMR and STMR are actually pretty decent, and for her, in her Brave Shift form, her STMR is pretty much necessary to give her even more stats. So infinite turns again, very good. Base form has 100% wind damp for one ally. It's the cooldown that builds up, just like how Sylvie has it. So that's good. 250% machine and planet killer for one ally, the cooldown version so she's more like Ash than Immatile in that way. She has a heal and MP recovery and also LB fill move for all allies, so that's quite decent. She has an earth and wind imbue with amps. She has the basic white magic kit, very good. The base LB is 150% plant and machine killer, 350% attack and magic, and also 250% LB damage for all allies. The Brave Shift form has a 100 times mod boost cooldown for her LB. Yes, I don't know why I didn't mention that, but for her LB. 200% TDH, 150% LB damage, 5% cap. Got some 200% killers for Beast, Plant, Dragon, Machine, Human, and Demon Killer. And the LB, let's go over the LB. 35% Axe Apparel, 300% stat buff, 300% LB damage buff, which is pretty high actually. Most buffs are still only 250, so getting an extra 50 is going to help out. And 250 times Earth physical damage, 24 hits, so she's still not a finisher here. 24 hits. I don't really know who this is going to be going with because it's Earth. If it was Lightning, maybe Dorgan, but even though he's not very good anymore. He needs a buff at this point. But 24 hits on this as well. This should have been a finisher, but it's not. Alright, so let's go over some cons. Killed her on a cooldown instead of an ability, so it's a lot slower. No self 150% amp for herself, so she's lacking a lot in that department. And the base LB only gives attack and magic buffs and no defense or spirit buffs, so that's not really that reliable if you want to be tanking things. So there's that. So let's go ahead and remove the blocker here. 7.5 out of 10. Her base form is pretty good, but not that amazing, and her Brave Shift form is pretty good, but not that amazing, if you get what I mean. So she's kind of like good, but not amazing, if you understand what I'm saying here, guys. So in essence, I don't think she's really that amazing. Just okay. She's lacking the amp for herself that would be a lot better, and she has a joke Grandis that gives her an insane modifier, but also gives her Berserk forever. And both of them can be dispelled, so you can remove, if you dispel her, you remove the mod buff. Well, she's basically, I don't understand what they were thinking about this. And you can't really finish with it because she would be attacking at the start of the turn because she's berserked. The modifier is insanely high, but it won't mean anything because you're just hitting the enemy one time with not being able to cap it with anything because it's at the start of the turn. If you were able to control it, it might actually be worth mentioning. That's why I didn't really mention it on the text. I'm only mentioning it in the video portion. So, think she's passable. Think Bartz is decent, but probably passable unless you pull for Satan. Then you'd have a pretty good win chaining partner in Dark Visions. But other than that, I don't really see either of these being worth pulling. That's unfortunate. But Bartz does get a buff of more attack if you equip Dorgan's STMR. They'll give him another 500, so he's going to get a lot of stats. I'm assuming at EX3 he'd have over 10,000, maybe even more than them. He might actually have more than Cloud because of all the things that he can do with his passives and things, but I can't see that, so I'm not pulling. So with that being said, guys, thank you guys very much for watching. Appreciate your time, and let me know what you guys think about these units in the comment section down below. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.